Okay, day 16 and day 17 plan are discussed today. So we'll see about that. So we can say the day 16 plan question, day 16, 17 and 18 plan questions are based on the Indian polity. Okay, historical underpinnings, so basics until from historical underpinnings to basic structure. What are the scope of fundamental rights and the recent judgment of the Supreme Court on right to privacy. So here you have to divide your answer into two parts. Here we can say first we have to write about the evolution of right to privacy from scope on other fundamental rights too. Okay, especially regarding right to privacy. So you can see here the introduction should be about the Puttaswamy case. Okay, where the individual privacy was made as the fundamental right for the first time. Okay, but we know fundamental rights are not absolute. So it will be checked up by the procedure established by the law. So the introduction should be based on the evolution of the evolution of the right to privacy, and we have to give the scope of fundamental rights regarding right to privacy. Okay, so you can see there we can say the scope right to live with dignity. So many scopes are there based on the recent news. Okay, we can say. So first one is about the Aadhaar, which is a questionable based on the right to privacy, because the digital media always remains concerned. The recent WhatsApp in the digital media or social media, we can say, criticizing politicians, government, which are all based on satirical ones. So they are devoid of their freedom of speech and expression, especially freedom of also a person's right to live with die with dignity. So based on that, passive euthanasia has become illegal since 2018. Okay, because the right to die with dignity is also one of the fundamental right, we can say. Okay, these are all the interpretations of Article 21. So right to privacy is also one of the interpretation of right based on the procedure established by law, and as like the fundamental rights, various dimensions. And recently we can say data theft of health sector, no, many the Indians data, medical data has been publicly seen to conclude this question by in this digital era. So just broadening the terms of Article 21 doesn't mean giving preamble. So our preamble from the Republic itself, because they are asked you, they have been asking you about the word of election. That's all. Okay. So the president is the de jure. Okay. So that just gives about the type of the head in our government. That's all. Okay. And we can say democratic. In terms of democratic, I am giving the titles from the reverse. So adjacent to republic is first, one is democratic, in that order. From the right to left, I am writing. Okay. You can give it in any order. So democratic means it is the democratic features, no? So that is enshrined in our preamble in a single word, democratic. Okay. And next, citizen participation always. And the next one, I can say the next fundamental rights, part 3 of our constitution, 25 to 10. So we can say from the SR Bomai case, it has been the secular has been constitution through the 42nd Amendment Act, which is popularly known as mini constitution. And we can say part 4A reveals about the socialistic principles in forms of, we can say, Gandhian principles. Okay. Even after the 1991 reforms, the welfare of the people is we are not binded by their decisions too. Only if we voluntarily engage ourselves to any words like highlighted words like a sovereign, socialist, secular, democratic. Can even add some examples to each. This is a very my favorite one, favorite quotation given by Dr. All the questions has been answered based on governance in that book. Okay, he will be using very technical and what we can say bureaucratic language. Okay, please do read that if possible, if you had a chance. Okay, so the question is about if a country is to be corruption free, become a nation of beautiful minds. I strongly feel there are three key societal for parents and the teachers. Okay, so for the his focus is on the corruption free name. Give examples too for this. So the first one, you can even start with the definition of corruption and how the corruption can be reduced. to give a holistic conclusion. Okay, so I have given an introduction and I have given certain qualities of a corruption-free society which are given in the book, in the question itself. So that is father, mother, and teacher are the, or we can say, intersecting elements for a corruption-free child and a beautiful society with a beautiful minds in the society. Okay, so we can say human. This question is purely based on the human values. So human values, especially we can say the ethical values, like what are all given in the GS4 syllabus paper. You can write here. Is needed. What are the role of parents and teachers? Honesty, empathy, tolerance. Okay, especially for a corruption-free society. So we can communication. Our teachers Wait a minute. I am sharing the screen. The role of the parents, teachers, and even the society doing their part. Okay, that is what conclusion is needed. Then shall we move on to day 17 plan? There is nothing we can say hidden behind it, or you doesn't need any great explanation or for this or analysis for this question, because this question is about Coelho case, IR Coelho case versus the state of Tamil Nadu. So where the judicial review was given to the 9th schedule too, because earlier the 9th schedule was immune from judicial review. So after this case, we can say judicial review has been applicable also to the 9th schedule of the Constitution. Okay. So, and this is the first part of the question. I have to explain about the Coelho case. The second part of the question is about they are asking. Coelho case. Second one is about judicial review and basic structure. Third one is about the key importance of the judicial review. Okay. Either I can start recording. It's okay. So in the Coelho case, we can say they have immunity power review. So this is actually known as the 9th schedule case. Judicial review was applicable to this too. Judicial review is one of the key component of judicial review is one of the key component. I think network connection problem. Okay, sorry for this issue, guys. So next about the judicial review, how to give Okay, so we can say they have discretionary power. And next, remedy. It gives a remedy. for the violation of the basic structure of our constitution. We can say basic structure of a constitution is like the values to be followed while framing legislation as well as executing. Okay, and we can say it paves way for a very good governance. They are the protector of rights, as we already told that they are the sole guardian. Supreme Court is the guardian, and see, as Supreme Court is the sole guardian of the Constitution, judicial acts as the after that, it has been deleted by 44th Amendment Act of 1978, and also the Minerva Mills case too has marked that we can say the national emergency can also be challenged in court if they are found to be of malified or any other extraneous relevant facts. The basic structure, judicial review can make that null and void. Okay, it acts as a pivotal tool in correcting the errors. Okay, because we are following a procedure established by law now. In some cases, rule of law. That's all. In some cases, not rule of question. So very much needed and important one. So we can say, if we read the historical underpinnings in Lakshmikant book or we can say D.D. Basu, it will be helpful for you in history point of view to modern India. So here the question is about, did the Government of India Act 1935 lay down a federal constitution? So discuss. So it is a very, very direct question. So you have to give about the Government of India Act 1935, its background, as well as you have to explain about the features which are paving way for a federal constitution, giving autonomy or power to the states or provinces at that time. So what are the features we can say? The Government of India Act 1935 itself make a larger part of our constitution. Okay. So it's a very greater part. It forms a very greater part in our constitution because it has replaced our constitution with some features still existing. Okay. So we can say they are the major contributors to our constitution. A Government of India Act 1935. Thus, this Government of India laid the foundation for a constitutional reforms and the provinces which are considered as states. So three list has been given as we are having list 1, list 2, list 3 in 70th schedule of the constitution. At that time itself, federalist, provincialist and concurrent have been given. As like we are having the center will be taking care of the residual powers. That time Viceroy has been listed with the residual power. Okay. So at the last, we can say it gives the 1935 Act gives the federal satisfies the federal features of a constitution like written constitution, okay, independent judiciary, bicameral legislature. These have given these features have clearly laid down the federal constitution. Okay. Next, we will move on to the ethics question. So this is a very simple question, but you have to answer it specifically because what is conflict of interest, and you have to give some examples to uh, to give difference between actual and potential conflicts of interest. So just to give this question has three parts to be covered. First, about the conflict of interest and what are the factors which are influencing the conflict of interest, and give some examples to that too. And the second part of the question is about you have to give difference between actual and potential conflicts of interest with substantiating that with the some examples. Okay. So we can, I will say that it's my point of view, and as well as we can say conflict of interest means where the competition begins between the public duty as well as the personal interest, that is called the conflict of interest. So who are all the factors, what are all the factors which will be influencing conflict of interest means we can say our personal values, we will be having some personal values and principles, no, that one, and our immediate relationship like family, friends and peer groups, self desire as well as motives, we will have some self desires and motives plans for the futuristic scope, no, so like those, okay, we can say so for example, I am giving here breaching the law for giving permission to the ineligible company with the fake bidding, as though the bidding has been done on a transparent manner, but giving the tender to the contract to the immediate relationship, or we can say who was known to us, okay, by a public servant. Okay, this can be conflict of interest where it starts. So the conflict of interest is the mode, we can say it will reveal our true face, or not true face, we can say it will reveal our priority of the values. That is, it will differentiate us between the what we are and how we are. Okay, how we are representing to the society, but how we are reacting really. Okay, so the conflict of interest will reveal our priority of the values at that time. Okay, despite whatever position we may be, how we are respected, that doesn't matter, but the conflict of interest only really shows the true face of a person, we can say. So next part of the question to be covered is difference between actual and the potential conflict of interest, COI, we can say. COI means conflict of interest. So actual conflict of interest is which will have an immediate effect, okay, in the current situation. But we can say potential conflict of interest will be maybe in future. So scope will be there. Okay, probable, what are probable or possible outcomes. Okay, so actual is about we can see it now itself. Currently itself we can see the outcome, but the potential conflict of interest, which will be a futuristic one. Okay, may happen, may or may not happen. Okay, so for that we can give some examples too. For example, for the actual conflict of interest, I can say some example like giving a public contract to the relative in terms of money, because you are in the because that public servant or of an organization or any official of an organization is having need for money, means they will exchange, they will give the money to the relative of that person. Okay, future may some drastic outcomes may happen. Okay, but for giving a contract to the ineligible company, or we can say to the relative, immediate outcome is there, and the real situation itself, that person will be facing all the consequences. Okay, so that's all we can say. And at last, the conclusion should be based on both actual and potential conflict of interest should not be ignored. as well as the organizational goals. Okay, irrespective of their authority, which should not be misused in any case. So conflict of interest plays a great role in case studies. So please keep revising this topic. So that's all for today. We have covered day 16 and day plan today. So we'll wind up this session. Thank you. Good night.